and welcome you tune in to Market Fatafat with me, Ankita Saxena, and with me as always is Snehi Shan. This is the show where we get you all the buzzes in trade and why they are buzzing, either on the back of the news floor or on the back of technical charts. But first up, let's take stock of how the market is shaping up right now. Snehi, despite that RBI cut that we saw coming in of 25 basis points and that change in stance, a rather dovish stance coming in, market has not reacted much to it. We are trying to recover from the day's lows. We have recovered from the day's lows, but there's no much action coming in. We're well within the previous session's range.
Absolutely. You know what, and today also has been pretty range bound because we're somewhere in the middle when it comes to today's trading session. We're roughly 50 points off the day's high, but we're also 70 points off the day's low. So we're somewhere in the middle when it comes to today's trading session. Nonetheless, 0.5% cut coming in on Nifty, Sensex in tandem with Nifty, almost 0.5% cut coming in on the Sensex today as well. Let's take a look at what Nifty Bank is up to in today's trading session, and no surprises, they're also in tandem with the Nifty, exactly 0.5% cut coming in for the Nifty, but it has smartly recovered from the day's lowest point, so that's also looking rather okay right now. Let's take a look at what the broader markets are doing in today's trading session. Let's pull up what the Nifty mid cap and small cap index is doing in today's trade. Nifty small cap is in the red. It's almost an 0.8% cut coming in on the small cap, so underperforming the benchmarks, and Nifty mid cap 0.3%. So that's the least losing sector when you talk about indices right now. So 0.3% cut coming in on the mid cap space. Let's take a look at some winners and losers today. The FMCG pack is doing phenomenally well on the back of a rate cut coming in. You also have the prediction of a healthy monsoon this year. Quarter 4 updates today have this so far for this quarter have been rather okay as well. Nestle, HUL are both top Nifty gainers today, followed by Hero Moto. Titan is doing well, Power Grid, Tata Consumer, Apollo Hospitals, Asian Paints. It's the entire consumption space overall that's been doing well. On the flip side, IT under some pressure. Wipro is a big loser today, almost 4% lower. Trend, Tech Mahindra, SBI, L&T, Infosys, Tata Steel. All of these are your top losers in today's trade. Lastly, let's just quickly take a look at the sectoral gainers and losers. FMCG and auto, your two sectors that are in the green. On the flip side, PSU banks, big losers today, 2% cut on PSU banks and Nifty IT, followed by pharma, metal, realty, energy. So these are your sectors in the red, but that's what the market breadth is looking like right now.
Alright, so that's how the market is shaping up to be right now. But let's get on board Foram M.Chheda, who's the founder, chart analytics on the technicals and from our research team. We're joined by Rabinder. Hi, good afternoon to both of you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Let's get started with all the stocks then that are buzzing in trade. First up is M&M that was in focus today. In fact, it gained over 2% in morning trade after the company announced the incorporation of a wholly owned subsidiary named Mahindra Advanced Technology, or MATL, with a total subscription of 5 crore rupees. MATL is established under the manufacturing and allied services categories and is set to concentrate on the technology related to security. The formal incorporation of the new entity was completed on 7th of April in Mumbai, Maharashtra, following a board approval which was granted earlier on. But M&M has now subscribed to 50 lakh equity shares of rupees 10 each at par value in this newly formed entity, resulting in a complete ownership of 100% stake in MATL. On the back of this acquisition, M&M is in focus today. It has given up those morning gains, but nonetheless trading with gains of 0.8% right now.
Okay, so holding up well in today's market is M&M. Let's move on. And Foram, hi, welcome to the show. Power Grid is the stock that you've picked out for us. Now on the charts, last 1 year the stock has not done all that much. It's absolutely flat. Last 6 months, in fact, it's given a 10% negative return. Where do you see the stock headed from here, and what are the levels that you're spotting for Power Grid?
Well, hi, good afternoon, and thank you for having me on the show. Well, if we talk about the recent up move that we've seen in Power Grid has in fact reflected an outperformance overall as compared to the leading index. Now, when we talk about it in a technical front, the stock price it formed a low of closer to almost 248 in the beginning of March itself, and it gained nearly 20% in 1 month's time. Right now, in the past few trading sessions, or I would say in the past 4 to 5 trading sessions, we have seen the stock price retracing towards 38.2% retracements of its entire move from the levels of around 248 to closer to 301. Now, since this retracement is also indicating that there has been more of a consolidation and there has been an accumulation seen in the past couple of days, it's indicating that there can be some kind of an accumulation that can be considered, or even for a fresh buying levels, one can watch out for a lower level of closer to 276 to around 278 levels. Thus, with this, I'm overall bullish on this particular stock from an intermediate perspective. One can even maintain a stop loss just below the levels of around 265, and it has a potential up move towards the levels of around 290 to around 295.
Those are the levels to watch out for on Power Grid. Positive view coming in from Forum. Let's move on and talk about the next stock that's in focus today. This stock has been doing pretty well for itself, and that's ITI Limited. The company has started work on the State Network Operations Center, which is the SNOC, for the BharatNet Phase 3 project at Solan, which is in Himachal Pradesh, in coordination with BSNL. The SNOC will centrally monitor and manage the project's network performance, security, and availability to ensure efficient service delivery. In November of 2024, remember, ITI Limited had emerged as the lowest bidder for BharatNet Phase 3 in Himachal Pradesh Package P and West Bengal and Andaman Nicobar Islands, which is Package 9, with a total order value of 5,050 crores. This is a project funded by the Universal Service Obligation Fund, and it involves developing the middle mile network on the design, build, operate and maintain model. So they've commenced work on the Phase 3 package of the order or the contract that they had bagged all the way back in November 2024. Positive news flow, and ever since we've got this news, just see the spike in the stock and where the stock has been able to sustain a healthy 4% uptick coming in today's trading session for ITI Limited.
All right, moving on from ITI, that's holding up pretty well in amid this market. It's trading with gains of 4%. Another counter that is doing well is BPCL. And oil marketing companies are generally doing well because of how sharply the crude has come off. But today also BPCL has a news flow that's powering the stock. Take us through the news flow then, Rabinder.
BPCL is in focus in today's trading session, where BPCL has formed a joint venture with Sembcorp Green Hydrogen Private Limited in the domain of renewable energy and green hydrogen, including its derivative, and the joint venture with develop, construct, operate renewable energy projects and green hydrogen project across India, including sale of renewable energy and green hydrogen. And the shareholding pattern of the joint venture will be 50-50%, and the rationale and benefit expected from the joint venture is the diversification of business and support the energy transition and net zero initiative of BPCL. And the stock has recovered from day's low for around 4% from day's low, and stock is up over 1.5%.
That's the reason why BPCL is in focus. 1.3% higher is where the stock is right now. Forum, coming to you once again for tech check on ICICI Bank. That's the stock that you've picked out for us. It's not done anything at all. In fact, in the last 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, it's been very flat. What are you spotting on the charts for ICICI Bank, and do you believe that this stock could pick up some steam now going ahead?
I would say, yeah, comparatively, I think it has been performing better in the banking space. We have seen some of the banks also outperforming compared to the main leading index like Nifty. In particular, when we talk about ICICI Bank, it formed its lows of closer to 1200 at the beginning of March and gained nearly a 14% within 1 month's time. Now, in the month of April, we are seeing the stock price is seeing some kind of a retracement of closer to almost 50% to around 50% to nearly 61.8% as per the Fibonacci, and is also coinciding with a multiple moving average support of 50-day and 100-day. So when we collaborate the two things of Fibonacci retracements as well as the moving average, it indicates it has strong support at current levels of 1270 to around 1280. Thus, I would suggest that those who have the stock can continue to hold on to it, and those who are looking to invest in this particular stock can look for these levels of around 1280 to buy the stock with a stop loss below the levels of 1255, and it has the potential target of closer to almost 1350.
All right, that's ICICI Bank on the charts. But moving on to the counters that are in focus today. In fact, all of them saw a sharp fall of 10% right after the news broke out. Names like Muthoot Finance, IFL Finance, Manappuram Finance, Chola, all of them saw a knock of almost 10% after the news came out that the central bank will soon issue comprehensive guidelines on loan against gold. However, in the presser where RBI governor was addressing the media, he clarified that there's no such tightening of gold loan rules that is on his mind, so nothing of that sort is likely to happen in the near future. And after this clarification, we did see some recovery coming in on all of these counters. But let's cut in and go across and see what exactly he had to say. Let's cut in and see what the RBI governor had to see on that matter and the clarification that he gave thereafter.
To our mind, there is no tightening. It is It is a rationalization only. It's broadly an extension of whatever on the conduct side primarily, whatever were the guidelines for NBFCs, those have been extended now to the banking sector also.
Okay, so that's the RBI governor who was speaking earlier in the day about his rationale when it comes to gold loans, and that's the reason why we've seen some recovery, like Ankita mentioned, in some of these gold loan financiers. Manappuram Muthoot a case in point. Let's move on, and Foram, coming to you for Titan. This is the stock that you've picked out for us. YTD, the stock is absolutely flat, 6 months, 1 month. It's not been doing a lot. Fundamentally, quarter four update has been very strong for the company, but do you believe that this could reflect on the charts, and are the charts also looking healthy going ahead from here now?
Well, comparatively now it's looking better. Earlier it was more of a decline, but which shows signs of stability. Technically, the stock price has seen quite a steep decline of almost 20% from the highs of 3652, which was marked in the month of Feb, and it formed a bottom in the mid-March of closer to around 2925. Since then, the stock price has been consolidating in a very narrow range of 10% between 2925 to around 3230 levels. Now, when we talk about it, that there has been a stability, an indicator like RSI is showing some signs of positive divergence, which is indicating that there is a possible momentum that can be expected. However, those who have been holding on to the stock and have some concerns that the stock has not been doing anything, I would just like to suggest that one can continue to hold on to the stock now, since it has been consolidating. So from downward direction to now sideward direction shows signs of stability. Thus, I would recommend a hold. And for those who would like to invest, should watch out for a lower level of around 3,100. However, the stop loss should be placed much lower, below the levels of 2,925. And on the upside, one can look for around 3,350 as a target if the markets are favorable and the stock price moves out of the consolidation zone of around 3,230.
Okay, so that's the take, and those are levels to watch out for Titan. Thanks for that. Let's move on and throw some light on the entire IT space that's in focus today. One of the top losing sectors, second only to PSU banks, this sector, Nifty IT, is down by now more than 2%, and its constituents are also lagging today, the likes of Wipro, that's down 4%, Infosys is down 2%. Let's tell you why this is happening. This is on the back of a Morgan Stanley note coming in on the entire IT space, wherein they say that there's higher uncertainty and tariff impact will hurt IT demand in FY26. They've cut EPS estimates by 2 to 14%, and they favor stocks with higher growth visibility. And unless outlook for US GDP growth improves, IT stocks are unlikely to re-rate. Their preferred stocks from IT are Infosys and Coforge at the moment. Let's come down to their individual stock recommendation and target prices. For Infosys, they maintain the buy rating. Target price has been cut to 1,700 from 1,835 earlier. Similar for Coforge, they maintain a buy call. The target price has been cut to 7,860 from 10,350 earlier. So steeper cut coming in for Coforge as well. On the back of that, Coforge is also down by 2.7%. For HCL Tech, they've maintained their whole call, but target price has been cut to 1,520 from 1,900 rupees earlier. Big cut coming in for HCL Tech as well. Now the other set of stocks is where they've started downgrading. So TCS, the rating has been downgraded to hold from buy earlier. Target price has been cut to 3,300 from 4,530. Similarly for Wipro, downgrade to underperform from hold. Target price also slashed to has been also slashed. Emphasis also has been downgraded to hold from buy call. Target price has been cut to 2,300 from 3,250 rupees per share earlier. All of these stocks are in the red today, and overall the IT pack is also down and out in today's trade.
Absolutely, IT pack really under pressure, which it has been for a while now, and now a downgrade coming in from Jefferies is weighing down all the stocks. But moving on to Gujarat Gas, Rabinder, here another this stock is also in focus on the back of a brokerage note. To tell us, what does the brokerage note say?
On Gujarat Gas, and they have maintained their buy rating on Gujarat Gas with target price of rupees 475. They say that the company's long-term volume growth outlook remains strong, which is supported by new industrial units coming up and expansion of existing one. It is companies actively investing in infrastructure to promote the use of industrial gas in Thane and Ahmedabad rural and newly added area in the Rajasthan. And the key positive trigger for the Gujarat Gas in the upcoming years will be Brent crude price are expected expected to average USD 65 per barrel in FY26 and 27, which is lower than the earlier estimate of USD 70. And global LNG supply is increasing, leading to a lower pricing slope, which is favorable for the company. The company volume are expected to grow at around 6% CAGR from FY24 to 27, and the stock is currently trading at a PE of 23 times and EV to EBITDA of 12.6 times for FY26, and the stock has recovered 1.5% from day's lows.
That's the take coming in on Gujarat Gas. Forum, coming to you for Tata Power. This is a stock that a lot of analysts are flagging out right now, and lots of action has also been seen in Tata Power recently. Tell us, what is the next level that you're watching out for, and overall what is your take when it comes to this stock on the charts?
Well, this calendar year, we've seen the stock had been consolidating in a range of between 330 to around almost 375 levels. That's closer to around 13%. Now, we did see in the last few couple of days back that the stock price had seen a breakout from 375 levels. That's the resistance level. However, because of the recent event, we have seen most of the stocks seeing a bit of a selling pressure or have seen a decline, and so has been Tata Power. Currently, the stock price have moved back into the consolidation range between 330 and 375 and is currently trading midway or closer to almost 358 levels, which also coincides with the 50-day moving average, which is acting like a good support level. Thus, for those who have been holding on to the stock, I would like to just suggest that it is a hold, and even from an intermediate as well as long-term perspective, because the stock price is not seeing any negative divergence on indicators. So overall, it's a hold.
Call coming in on Tata Power. Before we talk about the next stock, just want to issue a small clarification. It was an error on my end. The note on the IT space is by Jefferies and not by Morgan Stanley. So apologies for that. But let's move on and talk about Vodafone Idea. This stock is also in focus today because last evening they've allotted shares worth 36,950 crore rupees to the government of India, converting its spectrum dues into equity. Now, with this, the centre has emerged as the largest shareholder in the debt-laden telecom operator, and they now hold a 48.99% stake in Vodafone Idea. The allotment involved 3,695 crore equity shares of 10 rupees each, issued at par. This strategic move follows the company's earlier announcement on the 30th of the previous month, made in line with the telecom relief measures outlined under the September 2021 reforms and support package for the sector. So they've converted their telecom dues into equity, which has been issued to the government at a price of rupees 10. The stock is currently at a price of rupees 7. So that's a good deal that the government has made when it comes to Vodafone Idea. Government has emerged as the largest shareholder now with an almost 49% stake in Vodafone Idea. Now, on the back of that, the stock is under slight pressure today, almost a 0.5% cut coming in on the stock as we speak.
Alright, that's Vodafone Idea trading with cuts of 0.4%. But coming to you, Forum, NTPC is what you've picked out for us now. NTPC is one counter that's been, that a lot of analysts have been picking out. So for you on the charts, how does it look like? In fact, for the last 1 month, it has picked up steam. It's up almost 6% in trade. Tell us from here on, do you see this positive momentum to continue?
Yeah, as you made a rightly mention about, it has gained 6%, but there seems to be some more steam left in the stock. Now, overall, as I was talking about Tata Power, even this stock this calendar year had been consolidating within a range of around 294 to 340. That's closer to 15% of a range. Then later in the month of mid-March itself, we did see the stock price breaking out from the resistance level of 340 and moved higher towards 370 levels. However, then we have seen most of the stocks declining, and so has this particular stock also seen a decline, but however this has retraced nearly 50%, rather a little lesser than 50%. However, the 50% retracement coincides towards 340 levels, which again brings in opportunities for those who would like to buy the stock. And for those who have been holding on to the stock, can continue to ride on to see some more further upside potential. On the moving average basis, this 50% retracement coincides with the 100-day moving average as well as the 50-day moving average, which is adding a very strong support level at around 340. Thus, I would recommend a buy at around 340 levels with a very strict stop loss below the levels of around 329, and one can again look for an upward potential target of closer to 363 levels.
Okay, so that's Forum stake coming in on NTPC. Let's move on, and Ravinder, you've picked out Vedanta for our viewers. us today. Tell us why the stock has made it to your radar. We understand this is some exclusive news that Economic Times has picked up. Tell us what it is.
Well, Vedanta is in focus in today's trading session, and the key behind that is that as per ET sources, Vedanta is considering trimming its proposed demerger into 4 units from the originally planned 6 and later reduced to 5 after a corporate tribunal blocked the spin-off of its power business, Talwandi Sabo Power. Last month, NCLT has dismissed the proposed separation of TSPL, citing objection from Chinese firm ESPCO, which hold 1,251 crore of the debt in operating entity, and the Vedanta original scheme was unveiled in the September 2023, and the stock is down over 1%.
That's Vedanta on the back of that news, on the back of trimming its demerged entities, but to 4. But moving on, then let's go across to Forum. Forum, hi. This you picked out Indigo on the charts for us. Now, Indigo, tell us this stock has actually outperformed the markets, and how? I mean, this stock has been doing pretty well for itself, and as of today, someone sent me a message saying that Indigo is actually the largest airlines now in terms of market cap in the world now. On the charts, what do you see for this counter?
As you rightly made a mention, it has been outperforming overall. So the stock has almost seen a gain of nearly 30% from Jan lows of around 3950 and marked a high of around 5190 levels. And that was marked in mid-March. And after that, we did see a consolidation in the stock price when actually the Nifty has started picking up momentum. However, with the recent decline, what we've seen in the overall market, the stock also saw a very sharp recovery in spite of going lower. And currently, the stock price seems to be making a breakout from its recent resistance level of around 5190. Currently, it's almost trading at those levels. Secondly, it has also surpassed the levels of 5,000, which was marked in September. So it's taking those highs as well on a closing basis and moving up higher. Now, as we talk about the volumes, there has been a marginal increase in volumes, which is supporting the overall bullishness in the stock. Thus, I would consider that someone who has the stock should continue to hold on to it. And for those who are looking at buying the stock, should watch out for the levels of 5,100 to buy the stock. Keep a very strict stop loss below the levels of around 4980, and it has the potential up move of closer to 5,400 or closer to 5,500.
Okay, so those are levels to watch out for in Interglobe Aviation. But while we are talking about aviation, let's move on and also address this, because in a significant boost to the Make in India program, Mahindra Aerostructures has won a major order from Airbus Helicopters that Ankita just spoke about a couple of minutes ago. ET now Sumit Chaturvedi caught up with the top management of both the companies in this exclusive interaction to understand the importance of the announcement and its contribution to Made in India. Let's go across and listen in.
Every H130 that will be sold anywhere in the world will have this major sub-assembly coming from Mahindra. This assembly has 1,000 sheet metal parts, 500 machine parts, and several complex sub-assemblies that all go together, right? So this is part of Airbus's strategy and approach to work more closely with Indian suppliers and to create a supplier ecosystem, an aviation ecosystem in the country to support the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat and Viksit Bharat 2047.
If you can talk to us about certain numbers, investment going to be, jobs to be created, what kind of overall impact it's going to have on those numbers, those jobs and investments?
So I can tell you that in 2019, pre-COVID, our annual procurement from Indian suppliers and companies was $500 million. And if you come to 2024, so in a very short span of time, we've actually tripled it. And in 2024, we were close to $1.4 billion. And our objective remains to reach $2 billion in annual procurement from Indian companies well before the end of this decade.
What kind of capacity, investment and job you will be having a overall assurance for?
So we have right now a facility in Kolar where we have more than close to 1,000 people already employed and plus officers. For us, you would have heard Anish speaking several times that aerospace, along with many other growth gems, is one of the chosen growth gems where we want to expand this business in big way. And the reasons are very simple. If you look at the aircraft order of all the major OEMs across the world, they have 10-year waiting period. So the order for our customers, order book is full for more than a decade, and hence this sector is going to grow. We are in very well placed.
Alright, with that, it's curtains down on this edition of Market Fatafat Forum. And Rabinder, thank you so much for taking time out and joining us on this edition. But with that, it's a wrap. Snehi and I will take your leave. Thank you so much for tuning in.